Karen Bonafilio, Outer Realms, Inner Journeys. Guess what? We have Greg back today, Greg Thompson. You've heard from him about his near-death experience and his shared death experience. And now you're going to hear something completely new. This man is fascinating, I tell you. He has the gift of prophecy. Think about that. He can see into the future. So he's going to share that. We're going to do this in a 2-part episode because it takes a long time. And I know that for myself, I don't even like to sit in front of a TV or computer screen for an hour listening to something. So 2-part episode, and it'll run the same week. So Greg, would you like to say hello to everyone?
Hello, everyone.
And he has a great sense of humor. And I will tell you, when Greg and I first met, it was challenging because our computers were having a challenge. And Greg made me laugh. And anybody that can make me laugh in my book is fabulous. So I really liked him. Greg, I'm just going to let you take it away, and then I'll kind of go off your flow and question you. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. And you know when you want to stop for this?
Yes,
episode.
I do.
All right. All right. So,
cliffhanger.
A cliffhanger. Yes. Okay. Perfect. All right. You go ahead.
Okay. Just to let people know, I have some notes in front of me, so I may look down a little bit and you'll wonder what's wrong now. Nothing. Figure out where the heck I am. So we're going to start off with the beginning of an event that happened many, many years after I first became aware of it. And we'll talk more about that as we go. You'll figure it out pretty quick, I think.
Okay.
We're talking about March of 1971. I was in college, the University of Oregon, and I had just finished doing finals. And I had a roommate who had to share the same room, and he was studying his finals. And things were going along okay. I had a way of meditating every night. And usually some things would come to me. I have spirit guides. They usually come along and talk to me a little bit, tell me about what's going on, maybe. Or I would say that. They're telling me things I need to know. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so
Giving you guidance.
Yes. Yeah. And so this one night, I went into the meditation, and what I got back was a map of Eastern Europe, or Europe in general, in different colors.
Mm-hmm.
And it was flat, like it was on a desk or something.
Uh-huh.
And there was a little plane, a little model plane, white in color, that was on the bottom of it, of the map, in Georgia, approximately, which is not the city or the state, but the country for Georgia.
The country.
And it was moving slowly north up the eastern side of Europe. Okay. And I thought, well, this is different, a little different. I had not had anything like a map being shown to me. It went all the way up and eventually got far north that it had to turn, and it started going toward Europe. But it was above Europe, actually. It went across north of Finland. And then it went across the Atlantic Ocean and came into Canada. And then once it got into Canada, it turned south and started to go down toward the United States, and it couldn't get in. So then it changed its direction and went all the way across Canada, and then tried to get into the United States again. And at that point, it was trying to get in through Washington, the state of Washington, and wasn't able to get there. Turned around and went back to almost where it was before, but a little bit further west of the initial attempt to try to go south. And it got in. And it came down, and it turned and went down the eastern seaboard and went through into New York. And eventually it's getting down toward New York City.
Okay.
The view changed. The map went away. I'm standing on a deck in a high-rise condominium in New York City. And I'm looking out.
Has this happened to you before, where you've kind of like been transported to an area? in your
Uh,
mind?
yes, I have.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're not thinking anything.
I'm not thinking anything strange except other than the fact that I've never had a little story going on.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
okay, this was a little bit different. Usually, I'm at some place that I'm supposed to react. I react to something. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, it's only 5 minutes or something like this. This went on for a period of time. I
Uh-huh.
can't tell you how long it took, but it kept me captivated. Okay, well now I'm in New York in a high-rise condominium, and I have a phone or phone. Well, we'd use phones nowadays. It had a camera in front of it,
Oh.
and I had it on a stick, so the camera's sticking out this way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm marveling at how good the technology was.
It was 71 after all.
1971, yeah. Hey, they had one.
Computers weren't even out that bit
Well,
much.
but just to put it in perspective, my grandfather did a lot of photography. I mean, it was a hobby he enjoyed, and he had big, huge cameras that he'd carry
Yes.
with him.
Mm-hmm.
So this little teeny camera, sitting like this, you think nothing of it. You're going, well, where's your cell phone? But no, I had a regular camera, and I was looking at it and marveling at it, and I saw all of a sudden this plane come in on the left side of my view, and I'm going, where'd that come from? And why is it so low? I mean, it's
Oh,
flying at
yes.
my height, pretty much, going through town. And it would hide behind buildings and then show up between buildings. So it was like 2 or 3 blocks down from where I'm at. All right. And it's still flowing down. And so I'm photographing this thing. You know,
Oh.
okay. And I say to my wife, I had a wife in this one, there's this plane going down here. She said, well, we're almost ready for breakfast. You know, finish it up and we'll have breakfast. I said, okay, fine. So anyway, we're still watching it. And I'm now I know how fast it's going, so I'm filming at the same speed. So when it's behind buildings, I'm ready for it next time it comes out between buildings. And I get down to the south end of the city, and it disappears.
Hmm.
Okay, and I'm going, well, what's that all about?
Where to go?
Yeah, where'd it go? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
well, I got part of a story, and I don't know what the rest of it is. All
I
right,
need the ending.
yeah, it had no ending, but it stuck with me. It stuck with me, and I had that vision, that whole little story, probably off and on for the next 2 or 3 months. Repeated the same thing every time.
Oh, the guides kept giving that to you again and
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of like there's something I'm supposed to know here, but
I don't know what it is.
well, I'm a college student. I'm certainly not going to go to New York City. And I had never been to New York City at that point in time, so it was kind
Maybe
of
they wanted you to. I don't know.
maybe. Okay, so we leave that just hanging out there, and the next thing that happens is many years, like it's 20 years later, 1991.
Okay.
Okay, I by that point in time, I'm working for the phone company. I'm in data processing, software engineer, and we twice a year go out. Some of us from the company I work for, which was a phone company at the time, we go back to New York to IBM because we're beta testing their software for the mainframe computer,
Okay.
and we're going back to learn the latest things. All right, so myself and a colleague, we go back on a plane, get back there, and I also know somebody out back there, an IBMer, that I met through another connection. And we had a day or two before we had to go to the classes and stuff that we were going to have. So we were there for the weekend.
So now you're
So
in New York. Is that where
New
you
York City, yeah,
are? Okay.
okay. Well, actually, we were north of New York City. We were in the States, if you want to get technical with it.
Okay.
But my friend who lived there in New York, he said, "Hey, let's go down to the city tomorrow or today, a little bit later today, and see what's going on down there. So there's usually some fun things happening." I said, "Okay, fine." So the three of us head off to New York, get down there by train, and
Mm-hmm.
then we are walking around. My coworker who was with us wanted to see a laptop or something like that. He had a new one he wanted to get, and New York was known for having a lot of good discounts in different stores. So we wandered around
Oh,
there for a little while, and Okay, he found nothing really wanted. So then we started heading south, walking down the street. And we're down in Manhattan, and
Mhm.
we're walking along, and all of a sudden, there's the World Trade Center. We go,
Mhm.
wow. I said, I didn't realize we're that close. And my New Yorker friend said, well, yeah, he wasn't aware of it either. I said, you know what would be really neat? I would love to take the elevator to the top of the one of those buildings and see what it looks like from up there.
Oh my gosh, that
And
would be amazing.
there were 110 stories, right?
Oh,
At least,
wow.
at least the South Tower was.
Mhm.
And so I said, okay, we got we got down there and said, yeah, okay, here we are. So we walked into the entrance of the South Tower, and it was amazing. We walked through a little park before we got to the building,
Mm.
and then there was an atrium that stuck out from the bottom of the tower, and I can't tell how far it was, but a pretty good distance. It
Yeah,
had marble floor and it had palm trees in it.
beautiful.
And I thought, wow, what a magnificent thing that we coming to work every day and having that kind of inspiration from
Yes,
through. We went in, found the tower elevators
elevator.
with a sign that said closed.
Oh, come on, you can walk it.
Yeah, 110 stories. What the heck? No, it said go to the North Tower.
Oh,
It's
okay.
open. There are no signs that tell you where the North Tower is in relation to where you are. And
Okay.
we didn't want to get out and walk all the way around the outside of the building. Only much, much, much later did I find out that there was a stairwell that went down one flight that took you into a supermarket or a mall, shopping mall. And you
Mm.
go down one more flight after that, you find the trains that take you around
Oh,
and the elevators down in that area. I thought, okay. So we didn't know that. So my friends are talking about what they want to do. Well, I'm not sure what we want to do. And I said, okay, fine. So I thought, well, while they're gabbing at the south elevator, I'm going to go back out to the atrium and take a look up and see what it looks like. If I can't be at the top looking down 110 stories, I can
oh,
certainly go out and
look up.
stand in the on the marble floor, and I'm in the building and I'm out of the building because the atrium just comes right up to the edge of the wall. So I could
Oh,
walk out a little bit beyond the uh, building itself and look up the 110 stories. And so I went. I went out there and I looked up the side and go, wow, that's a tall building. And I was really enjoying it. But all of a sudden I saw
no.
flames shooting out up high, real
Oh,
high, and
no.
metal and glass coming down and landing all around outside me. And I'm going, shit, what
Great.
happened? So I yelled at my friends. I said, we got to get out of here now. And I go running out of the building because I knew I couldn't go in. I mean, after all, you're going to go into a burning building to get away? No. So I went
No.
running out the main entrance there,
Mhm.
and I was back into the park, and it was perfectly fine. Blue sky,
Oh,
birds chirping,
okay.
and I look around. There's no debris. I look up at the building. It's perfectly fine,
Oh.
and I'm going, okay. I, I,
Do
and I'm shaking by that point in time.
do they think you're crazy?
Well, it was kind of interesting reaction I got from them. Very different. I didn't expect it.
Oh.
I sat down on a bench and waited for them to come out, and they came out talking to each other. And they came over to me and they said, "Well, we're thinking about just walking on down south and see what we want to see, you know, and maybe we'll go to the Statue of Liberty or Ellis Island or something like that." I said, "Oh, okay." And I said, "Yeah, okay. Didn't you hear me say get out of here right now?" And I ran out of the building. He said, "Yeah, what was that all about?" And I told him about the flames coming out the glass and metal coming down around me and stuff like that. And this is where I really got weird. I mean, really weird. They just went
Oh, really?
no reaction of anything other than that. And it was almost like time had stopped.
Oh,
And it started.
really?
And they said, "Well, let's go." And I'm going, no reaction to the fact that I just said something really different. Like
Yeah.
if you had too much to drink while we weren't watching, what's going on? And so
So
I followed along behind him, walking down the street, and I'm going, I need to know more. I need to know more. And my first thought was that dream I had back in 1971 of a
yeah,
plane going
20
through
years.
town and not coming out the other end. Okay, I'm going. There's a relationship here between that and what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
But what I didn't want, yeah, I didn't know what to think. So we're walking along. They're walking in front of me, talking a blue streak about something.
Because you're like just out of this. You're trying to figure what's going on. I saw this and I saw that, and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It
and they
just
don't care.
they don't care. No, it didn't happen to them.
Yeah.
So I stopped, and I did something I've only done one other time in my life. Is I put my hands on the wall of the South Tower, and I said, "What I saw, is that really going to happen?" No response. No response at all. Okay, so I go, okay, let's rephrase it. When are the towers coming down?
Oh.
And the answer was 10 years.
Oh, 10 years.
And this was September 1991.
Okay.
Okay. So I got the answer, but then I only had two more questions like who's doing it, what's doing it, why are they doing it? Is this really true? Am I getting this right?
Mm-hmm.
But it just kept on going that way.
Wow.
So that was 1991. 1993 was when there was an attack on the World Trade Center.
Oh, I remember that. Yes. Wasn't it in the basement or something?
It was in the basement. A car blew up in the basement.
Yes, yes.
And there were several other cars and hurt. Nothing hurt the tower at all. I think
Mm-hmm.
it was the North Tower that happened. Oh, it doesn't matter which tower it was. The kicker was about a week later in the newspaper, there was a response from Osama bin Laden, the leader of the Al Qaeda terrorist group. His response was, of course that didn't work. If you really want to take down the towers, what you have to do is hijack a couple of commercial airliners and fly them into the buildings.
He had written that?
He said that. It was in the newspaper.
I never knew that.
I can't find that when I go out querying that anymore, his reaction.
Wow.
But it got chills down my back when I read that.
Wow.
Yeah,
I do want to ask you a question
sure.
because I'm thinking of energy and when you put your hands on the tower,
Mm-hmm.
were you talking to your guides or were you asking the tower or who were you directing that question
I
to?
was directing it to anybody that would listen, pretty much.
Okay.
Basically, since I had just gone through a unbelievable moment with my two friends.
Yeah, they didn't care.
Yeah. Right. No, I have found that it probably is my spirit guides are responding.
Uh-huh.
I have two guides in that arena, and I can ask them telepathic questions, and they do respond telepathically. So yeah,
Okay, probably
it could
them.
have been them.
Yes.
It could have been them.
Wow.
Pardon me while I stop and think here for a second. 1998 is when, from 1998 up, got really, plus I guess you can say, got interesting. And I had a premonition that I was going to go to China. I'm supposed to go to China. And that came out of being because I actually had a colleague at work who was from China. So there was a connection.
Okay, but you felt you needed to go to China.
I wanted to go to China actually,
Okay.
because he was conceived in China, but he actually was born in Hong Kong.
Okay.
The family moved when it was okay to move. Part of the family moved to something outside of China, and he actually would go back to China every once in a while to visit his mother. His mother stayed in China,
Oh, she
and the rest
did.
of the family moved to Hong Kong.
Hmm.
So he'd go back to see them and family every about 3 or 4 years. He had to save up money to go and go and come back. And I talked to him about, gee, it'd be fun to go to China. And he looked at me and said, don't go to China. I said, why? He says, you wouldn't do well. And he was convinced that I just would not understand anything that was going on, and I'd be miserable and I shouldn't go.
Okay.
And I thought, is he talking about anybody or just me that he'd have to meet with? I didn't know. But anyway, that got me kind of interested in China. And he told me some stories about things that were interesting, places he'd been and such. Uh,
Hmm.
and I thought, well, this would be kind of neat. So I was kind of interested in going to China. But then in 1999, I got a message. I will go to China and I will climb a temple and something will happen when I get to the top.
You're going to climb a temple.
Climb a temple.
Climb a temple. Okay.
Now, I'm going, how do you do that? I mean, I don't know of any temples that are laying on the side or anything like that. Well, how do you climb a temple?
Yeah. And will they let you?
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. If I'm in China, they're going to let me climb this temple.
They probably shoot you.
And something will happen while I'm there.
You climbed a temple.
Well, after I've climbed the temple, something will happen there.
Oh,
And I'm going, okay, this is just getting bizarre. This is just plain getting bizarre.
really? They're
Uh,
sending you all over.
and then in 2000,
Wait. So you didn't go to China
I hadn't gone yet. No,
okay,
no,
not in 98.
not the 99. Well, I didn't know how to really get to China. I mean, I've been to Europe several times, and that was easy. You just get on a plane and go there. And
Mhm.
but China's a little different. You have to go through visas and stuff like that to get it to go there. And I wasn't sure about that. And also the fact that the culture is so different than what I'm used to,
Oh, yeah.
I may not be able to really enjoy it. Uh, so, but I kept getting this in the year 2000 every single night of the year 2000. I mean, literally, it became every night I tried to go to meditation, and you're going to go to China, and something's going to happen while you're there. And I just thought, okay, this is really crazy. And I thought, well, just stop sending me that message. Please stop sending that message
And
every single night.
what year was that, Greg?
1999.
99. Okay.
Yeah. So the year 2000 comes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our good old change of, well, I won't go there. For the first few months, it was quiet. Nothing coming to me. And even if I tried to, which I sometimes were able to do, communicate with me, nothing. Then one day, I was listening to a classical music station in Seattle, which is where I was living at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and on came a commercial. Would you like to go to China?
Yeah.
We have a tour going to China, and we're going to see the
Ooh.
following things. And he listed off the different things you're going to see and stuff like that, and we'd
Mhm.
be there for 2 weeks. And part of it was a boat trip on the Yangtze River. We'd be in Shanghai, we'd be in Beijing, and I was sitting there going, you get to see the Great Wall of China. I thought, okay, this sounds like something I really kind of enjoy.
Mhm.
All right.
Mhm.
So I decided to go. And I signed up. I went to the travel agency, which actually happened to be they were located only about 5 miles from where I lived.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was kind of different.
Yeah.
And I went there and I took my visa, my passport rather, and my credit cards and things of that sort, things I thought they would need. Actually, I think they said what they needed for you to sign up.
Mhm.
And so I went there and they gave me the big pitch, right, about how great it was and all this kind of stuff.
You were already sold. You knew you were
I
going
was
to go.
already sold because I knew I
Yeah.
was going to go. And so I gave him my credit card and watched it fly away. And got all the literature, including the itinerary and everything. And I
Mhm.
went back out to the car. It was a hot day, and the sun was really baking down. And of course, I'm in a parking lot, so it was even hotter.
Mhm.
And I thought, I want to look at that itinerary again and look at it in detail just to see what's really going to happen because I'm really getting excited about it now.
Mhm.
And I'm sitting there. Oh, I opened the windows on the front of the car, 2 windows on the front, and I opened the sunroof because it was really
Oh,
hot.
wow.
And I'm sitting there reading the itinerary, and all of a sudden it gets darker and darker and darker. and I can't really read it anymore. And I go, well, what's going on here?
Yes.
And I looked up, and there was a black cloud above me. And
I
I'm
mean,
going,
for real, there was a black cloud above you.
there's a black cloud above me.
Okay.
Not dark purple or dark blue,
Black.
maybe a grayish.
Mhm.
And I'm looking at it going, where did that cloud come from? Because it's been a blue sky day, and I look down front, it's blue sky, it's sunshine in front of me.
Yeah.
I look to the left, it's sunshine the left side of the car. I look to the right side, it's sunshine on the right side of the car. I turn and look behind me, it's sunshine behind me. I look up, it's a black cloud.
Right over you.
Yes. And I got pressure on my shoulders.
Oh.
Hot, warm from it. That's my spirit guide saying, danger, danger. And I'm going, no, dang it, I'm going to China.
They were warning you.
They were warning me about it. Yeah.
But you still decided to go.
I decided to go anyway.
Stubborn.
Yeah, well, I just paid like $4,000, $5,000 for this trip.
You could get that money back,
I suppose I could walk back in and get it back. Well, actually, they closed. It was 5:00.
You're getting warned not to do something, and you decide to go anyway. And this is a heavenly voice talking to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to be clear on that.
Yeah. So that's where I'm going to leave it.
That's where you're going to leave it?
That's where I'm going to leave it.
Gosh, I'm not going to get to know either, am I? Darn it.
I'm not going to tell you.
No, I don't want to know. I want to be genuinely surprised when this happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want to ask you a question, but I can't because you haven't gotten to that point. It's about your friends. So I'm going to have to wait for that.
Okay.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have a cliffhanger here. You only have to wait 2 days, just 2 days. And Greg will be on Friday. So you'll be able to find out what happened. And I also have to tell you something else. There's more than just this. Because we had talked prior. I don't know what it is, but there is more. So Greg, I thank you for coming on, and dang, that was good. You wove a good story. And I can't believe you didn't listen to your guides. Really, we got a dark cloud over you, and you're just, I'm going.
Well, there's another time, which I won't go into detail right now. I tested them. I put myself in a situation, and I wanted to know what they're going to do.
You're not going to tell us, right?
No.
Greg. Will you tell us next episode?
I can. Yeah.
Okay, jot that down so you don't forget.
Okay.
I'm going to have you on another time because everybody's going to want to know. Okay. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Greg, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I certainly did. Greg, thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome.
Okay.